And breaking tonight, Prince Harry is in Japan for a Tokyo conference without wife Meghan, where he revealed he would be happy to leave his life in the US behind. Watch.
Every single element of the Japanese culture is really unique and very, very special. I noticed it my first visit 4 years ago when I came for the Rugby World Cup, and I would happily live here if you'd have me.
Harry's declaration comes just 24 hours after the royal family officially removed his HRH title from their website, reflecting the agreement made in the Sussex's infamous 2020 Megxit agreement. The Duke has now been demoted behind working royals on the family's official online page, one place above Prince Andrew's. What do you think? Should the Sussexes now just be stripped of all their titles? Dan at gbnews.com voted our poll at GBNews on Twitter. But let's debate this now. I'm joined by the broadcaster and journalist Rebecca Toomey, editor-in-chief of Majesty magazine Ingrid Seward, and royal scoop getter at the Spectator Cara Kennedy. So Cara, I believe you say, yeah, this is the time now, the titles just have to go.
Yeah, I think it's absolutely time for this. I'm surprised that there are people left that don't think this, because their titles, Duke and Duchess, are the only currency that they have left, basically the only formal connection to the British royal family after finally HRH has been taken away from them. So now it's time to cut them off once and for all. If they had 1 ounce of respect for the institution or the Queen that gave them their titles, I would probably be in support of them keeping them. But the way that they've treated the royal family over the past now 3.5 years, I just mean they should absolutely lose them now.
Rebecca Toomey, you disagree?
I think it's particularly very un-British of us to behave in this way. Now, I fully appreciate that some people still feel incredibly hurt by Prince Harry and Meghan as well. But there's no way back. We've completely shut everything down for the two of them. And I just think that's not really what we're known for. There's no sense of forgiveness here. There's no sense of, if Harry holds his hand up one day and makes a huge apology, would we ever welcome him back? And it feels as if we're tit for tat all the time. And I think part of being wonderfully and beautifully British is to have a lot of, British reserve and kindness and fairness. And I just don't think we're showing it to Prince Harry at all.
Ingrid Seward, where do you stand? Are you with Cara, or are you with Rebecca?
Well, I sort of stand in the middle, because there is no point in removing their titles if we indeed, well, not we, but if the King and Parliament, because it would take an act of Parliament, if Parliament agreed, because Harry is a prince of the blood, and it's quite untrue to say that their titles, Sussex, Duke and Duchess of Sussex, are all they've got. Harry is a prince of the blood. You can't take that away from him. He is the King's second son. And if, say, the Duke and Duchess of Sussex titles were removed, Harry would still be Prince Henry of Wales, and get this, Meghan would be Princess Henry of Wales. Now, to my mind, that would be far worse than her being the Duchess of Sussex.
So it could actually be an upgrade.
A princess that she could use the title.
That's an interesting point. Maybe that does put me off slightly. Cara, quite interesting to see Harry in Tokyo today talking about how he wants to move to Japan. Meanwhile, there seems to be briefing after briefing to the American press about how much Meghan is loving life with her girlfriends. So she went to see the Barbie movie for her birthday with Portia de Rossi, Ellen DeGeneres' wife. Now we're told she went with a British girlfriend to see Taylor Swift on her own. Do you think there's something going on here?
Yeah, well, like you said, there's been a flurry of briefings and paparazzi shots and People magazine exclusives about how Meghan is kind of living her life while Harry is working. And you'll recognise that this is similar to what happened in January when Harry released Spare and Meghan was kind of nowhere to be seen. And it was very obvious that from their side, they were trying to show people that this was a separate thing. This was a separate endeavour. Harry had the book. It was his thing. Meghan was getting on with her life. So I think, to be honest, it's kind of stemmed from there. We haven't really seen many examples of them in solidarity and together and kind of saving face since January. So I think it stemmed on from that. But it's interesting the amount now. I mean, every day there's new photos or new stories of Meghan kind of living it up with her girlfriends. And then Harry obviously taking on this work. So yeah, it's definitely interesting. And I think that we're going to see a lot more of it over the next few months, because I think Meghan is probably intentionally trying to create this narrative now that she is not damaged goods, and she's kind of getting on with her life and trying to build her reputation.
Rebecca Toomey, it certainly feels like at the very least there has been a professional parting of ways, doesn't it? Because do you remember the time when Meghan said that her and Harry were like salt and pepper? You know, they just went together. They did everything together. She even spoke about how when they worked in their office, they were side by side. Do you think Meghan's maybe realised that actually they're going to have to do things on their own, given that the Spotify deal didn't work and the Netflix deal seems to be heading in that direction too?
I think the first point I'd like to make is that Meghan has always been a girl's girl. She has always been incredibly pro-women, had a lot of female friends. She's always had a long-standing friendship with Priyanka Chopra.
I don't think the Princess of Wales would agree, or Victoria Beckham, or Lizzie Cundy.
Understandably, there will be fallout. But also, in the evolution of their relationship, you know, they have been together quite a while now, Meghan and Harry, and I think it's fair to say that they might just be in the next phase where they're not completely joined at the hip. I would also say, and I've said this before to you, Dan, that I think Meghan does learn. She's a very clever, savvy woman, and she'll know what the public think of her. She'll be fully aware. So she knows that she needs to go on a PR mission to show the other side of Meghan, which I think a lot of us have forgotten. This isn't a new Meghan we're suddenly seeing. This is just a side of Meghan that she's putting in the spotlight again. And I think she is.
Well, it's certainly about her now, isn't it, Ingrid? Because we're also told that she has secured, and it's quite a big deal to get this, the Instagram handle @Meghan. So in the past, it was about the Sussexs when she did social media. For her new incarnation, it feels like this is all going to be about me, me, me.
Well, I think that maybe if I mean, she is an intelligent woman, I'm absolutely certain of that, but I think that maybe she feels that she's got to move away from Harry, as we were saying earlier, because it's going to work better that way. But she still, without Harry, she needs him desperately, and we'll see them in September at the Invictus Games. And if these rumours go on about them living separate lives, they're going to put on such a big lovey-dovey show at the Invictus Games. So every time, you know, journalists write about them, you know, moving apart, doing their own thing, they then put on a show of togetherness. So they are absolute past masters, or the people that they pay are past masters at this PR games, and it keeps them in the news. I think the whole thing's a bit of a game myself.